So the Q project is about improving the use of research evidence in Australian schools. It's about working in partnership with school leaders and school teachers to figure out what does it mean to use research evidence well, and how can we make that a stronger part of school improvement. Ultimately, it's helping students to become more engaged and more powerful in their learning through building research into the system.
I often ask myself in terms of when do we use research and what research do we take on board and how do we do it in an effective manner. It's always daunting. It's always a challenge for the leadership team of any school to determine what the next steps are for our improvement journey. Finding appropriate research is really difficult. It's not obvious where that is, and implementing it in school has its own challenges, and every school contextually is different. We have limited time and we're all under pressure to maximise student learning outcomes. And I think if you use research evidence effectively, then you can target those things into improving practice and therefore maximise the student learning outcomes.
I think evidence is really crucial to education because without collecting, synthesising and disseminating research evidence, we really can't be sure that we're delivering the best learning opportunities to our students as possible. Tracking down the evidence can actually be really hard, and I guess that's why I've chosen to work a 4-day week in large part so I can sift through all that education evidence, but I recognise that's not something it's fair to expect all teachers to do. One of the things that most excites me about the Q project is seeing the illustrations of practice, because I think that'll help me to have a really clear view of what other schools are doing. I'm interested in the approach of incorporating the work of BehaviourWorks Australia to think about change management within organisations, and also just more broadly, what does quality evidence use look like in schools?
At present, there's been very little research done on the use of research evidence in schools. So we don't know what the capacity is within the system. We don't know what the issues are that schools face in engaging with research and research evidence and researchers. So there's a real gap in our understanding. There's also a lack of system-wide support for the use of research evidence in schools. So there isn't currently a powerful professional framework. There isn't access to professional learning in relation to using research evidence well. And so the Q project is about addressing some of those gaps in the research evidence and also in the practice.